Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everybody, welcome back with me on English podcast. My name is Ahmad Awedasona Abento and the number is 1. Now, I am with a special guest who is in front of me. Wisnu Wijayanto, absent number 32, and Duma Ajirama, absent number 7. This time, we will discuss about Mr. Habibie's technological creation about his first time and his plane. As we can know, Mr. Habibie is the third president and the biggest influence in the world of Indonesian technology, especially aviation. And what do you know about Mr. Habibie, Wisnu?
B.J. Habibie is full Baharudin Julu Habibie, born June 25, 1936, Parepare, Indonesia. Death September 11, 2019, Jakarta. Indonesian aircraft engineer and political who was president of Indonesia and a leader in the country's technological and economic development in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. He is brilliant in science and mathematics from childhood. Habibie received his post-secondary education at the Bandung Institute of Technology in Bandung, Indonesia, and further his studies at the Institute of Technology of North Rhine-Westphalia in Aachen, West Germany. After graduation in 1960, he remained in West Germany as an aeronautics researcher and production supervisor. Suharto took power as Indonesia's second president in 1966, and in 1974 he asked Habibie, who is dead now for 25 years, to return to the country to help with advanced industries. Suharto assured him that he could do whatever was needed to accomplish that goal. Initially assigned to the state oil company Pertamina, Habibie became a government advisor and chief of a new aerospace company in 1976. 2 years later, he became research minister and head of the Agency for Technology Evaluation and Application. In this role, he oversaw a number of factors involving the production and transportation of heavy machinery, steel, electronics, and telecommunication equipment, and arms and ammunition. Habibie believed his enterprises ultimately would spawn heritage ventures in the private sector and allow the country to climb the technology leader. In 1993, he unveiled the first Indonesian developed plane, which he helped design, and in the following year launched and planned to refurbish more than 3,000 vessels for the Commerce as Germany Navy at this individual. The Finance Ministry balked at the cost of the latter and the fourth, while the armed forces tough and its turf had been filled. Nevertheless, Habibie got more than 4 million for 400 millions for repurchasing.
Meanwhile, in 1999, Habibie was appointed head of the Indonesian Muslim Intellectual Association, and during the 1993 Central Board election of the country ruling party, Golkar, Habibie helped the children and allies of President Suharto rise to top position, easing out long-standing military backed power broker by the late 1990s. Habibie was viewed as one of several possible successors to the aging Suharto. March 1998, Suharto appointed Habibie to the vice president, and 2 months later, in the wake of large-scale violence in Jakarta, Suharto announced his resignation thus unexpected into the country top position. Habibie immediately began to implement major reforms. He appointed a new cabinet. Social affairs minister, as well as his longtime friend as trade and industry minister, named a committee to draft less restrictive pollution law, allowed a free press, arranged for free parliamentary and presidential election the following years, and agreed to presidential term limit to 5 years. There he also granted amnesty to more than 100 politician prisoners. In 1999, Habibie announced that East Timor, a former Portuguese colony that had been invaded by Indonesia in 1975, called Coast between special autonomy and independent. The territory Coast independent. Indonesia held free general election, the first since 1955 in June as promised. Later that year, Habibie ran for president, but he withdrew his candidacy shortly before the October election, which was won by Abraham Wahid. After Wahid took office, Habibie essentially stepped out of politics, although in 200 he established the Habibie Center, a Pollution Research Institute.
Okay, so that is what you know about Mr. Habibie's life and career. In addition to the work of aviation, Mr. Habibie also plays a role in the progress of Indonesian railways. Juma and Wisnu, what do you know about it?
President of Indonesia, Badrodin Yusuf, or B.J. Habibie, was a figure who had an important role in the establishment of PT Industri Kereta Api or INKA through PT INKA. Habibie went to stop Indonesian dependence of foreign rail product. This state-owned company that focused on making trains is now not only preparing trains for domestic need, but it has also been able to export trains to a number of countries such as Bangladesh. the Philippines, Sri Lanka, and several countries in Africa. All of these dreams originate from the dream of ABB, who did on Wednesday. Even the managing director of PT Inka, Budi Noviantoro, said the move to PT Inka in there was no Habibie. Budi said that in the 1980s, Indonesia was still an importer of train. At that time, the Indonesian government imported 63 units of diesel locomotive, 3 units of diesel electro locomotive, and 5 sets of KRD and KRL diesel from abroad. Due to the dependence on imported product, the government adopt an import substitution policy and technology transfer initiated by the Investment Coordinating Board or BKPM and the Ministry for Increasing the Use of Domestic Production or UP3D, the policy stipulates that any procurement of railroad facilities such as locomotive, passenger train, and freight cars by PJKA must be able to import in travel from. At that time, Habibie served as Minister of Research and Technology. The program into a strategy for industrial transportation and technology transfer. He wants national human resources not only to be good at saving, but also to have the ability to create and innovate in railroad technology. On this initiative by Habibie, the Indonesian government finally established PT Inka. The goal is that the national railway industry is independent and free from the dependence of overseas.
To release the railroad industry, the government changed the function of Balai Yasa Madiun as a place for manufacturing railway components. Balai Yasa Madiun was previously used as a steam locomotive workshop. However, because the steam locomotive stopped operating around 1977, finally there was a change in the function of the bridge. At that time, Habibie was sure that the people at Balai Yasa Madiun were ready to dedicate their commitment, dedication, and integrity to the national railway company. Until finally a railway factory was built, which is located in the former Balai Yasa PJKA Madiun.
Okay guys, it is so interesting, okay? And now it's the last question. What is your opinion about Mr. PJ Habibie?
In my opinion, Mr. Habibie is an inspiring and unique teacher, both in terms of achievement and his love story with Mrs. Ainun. Besides that, he also encouraged everyone with his words. One of Mrs. Habibie words that impressed me, namely, if someone insults you, just take it as a compliment that he actually has been chatting you for hours, and you didn't even say it was.
In my opinion, Mr. Habibie is a figure who worked hard is discipline and obedient to worship and aspiring to make Indonesian name known to the world through technology.
Okay, it's pretty good. Alright, Mr. Habibie is a person who plays a big role in the development of Indonesian technology. This was the last part of today's podcast. Thanks to Wisnu and Tuma for coming today. And for you guys, thank you for watching this video. See ya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.